What's up, everybody? Welcome to Malt Muser Whiskey Reviews. I am Eric. On the bar for today, Cairdeas 2022 edition Warehouse One from the one and only Laphroaig Distillery. Nose taste finish review of this whiskey is coming up in just a hot second. I will tell you a bit about the value, give you my final thoughts, final score, and leave you with a malt musing. But first, if you've yet to take a second, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you don't miss these reviews that drop every Friday here on YouTube. Also, Tuesday happy hour, every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. You may have actually seen the official uncorking of this on a Tuesday happy hour just a couple months back. Now it's time for the full review. So let's get into it. Laphroaig, located on the Isle of Islay, arguably the most popular distillery on Islay, probably the most well-known, and known for it is full of peat and smoke and intensity. That is Laphroaig. Every year they put out a release called the Cairdeas. Cairdeas is Gaelic for friendship, and in friendship with us whiskey drinkers this year, they have released the Cairdeas 2022 Warehouse One. Here is the tale of the tape. Warehouse One is matured exclusively in Warehouse One, our shoreline stronghold. So this is aged in casks located in the distillery right on the shore. It is bottled at 52.2% ABV. It is all first fill Maker's Mark bourbon casks. It is non-chill filtered. Or is it? Does not say on there, nor does it say anything about color. Well, I think this is non-chill filtered and natural color. They don't say. I wish they would. First fill bourbon casks, no age statement. This was released here in 2022. Cairdeas, definitely a release I look forward to every year. Now that we've got the tail of the tape out of the way here on the 2022 Cairdeas, let's get a drink. Here's what it looks like in the glass with some disheveled napkins to show you the color. On the nose. Fresh, smoky, in that kind of minty, medicinal, iodine type way. Like a dentist, like walking into a hospital or a dentist's office. Don't let that scare you away from the whiskey. So we got a freshness, just bordering on sweet and spicy. Beneath it, you got some nice bourbon cask notes, and I'm saying light vanilla, a little bit of graham cracker, maybe some ripe apples. A little bit behind it, slightly darker note, maybe a little bit of oak char. The other thing I want to mention is it's got a zestiness to it, something that I don't always pick up in many whiskeys, let alone Laphroaig. It's, dare I say, a little salty. Now, is that from the air coming into Warehouse One? You be the judge of that. Most likely it's just the sodium buildup, which is sort of related, which happens in the barrels. But let's not let that get in the way of a nice story. Full, sweet spice smoke. This is not for the faint of heart. Let's give it a taste. Solange. Big, as expected from a Laphroaig that is near cask strength. Wow. So you just get a lot of fresh peat effervescence on the palate, tingling, full flavor, waves of kind of vanilla, light caramel, a little bit of citrus, lemon. This is very, very, very classic Laphroaig. As it develops, getting some more chocolate notes. That peat and smoke is there. It's ashy. medicinal, taking you into a medium finish. Holds on pretty nice into the finish. Maybe just kind of like a concentrated honey, little bit of apple, little bit of maybe even this hint of tropical fruit here. Sweet, oaky, spice. And that spice, chai, allspice kind of thing. And Winston the Whiskey Cat is here to go guard the Laphroaigs. Did you want to take a sip of this? You are the Whiskey Cat. No, he's not interested. Let's do one more neat sip. Rich, full arrival. Getting a little bit of an orange. Yeah, chocolate, cinnamon, vanilla. A lot of bourbon cask. I mean, first fill, exclusively first fill from Maker's Mark. Not a surprise. Here's a little bit more about the warehouse. Constant sea spray and storm drenching lend a rich shoreline astringency to the classic malt. Smoke and salt, rare four-story construction varying in levels of temperature and humidity, exploits its exposed position to tease our enigmatic flavors. Well, there you go. Okay. Let's put some water on this. 4 or 5 drops. About a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more. There is a white wine quality to this. You know, it did say astringency. I'm not going to say it's astringent as much as it's kind of tart. The water is bringing that to the surface. It's kind of pushing through those heavy bourbon cask notes. Fresh. I mean, this is classic Laphroaig in every way. Boy, that sweetness is amped up with the water. It's pulling that smoke and intensity back a little bit. White grape notes. Chocolate. Apple. Pear. Caramel. A lot of nice fruit and bourbon cask notes, just or bourbon oak notes, I should say, just kind of playing pretty well with each other here. Medium finish, fresh vanilla, little bit of peppermint. Yeah. All right. Laphroaig Cairdeas 2022. Is it a limited exclusive whiskey? Yes, in that it won't be around forever. But right now, you should be able to find this on the shelf of any good liquor store in your neighborhood here in the United States. And if you do, you're going to find this right around that $90 to $100 range. So we'll average price $95 on this. I'm going to put this at a medium value, maybe a slight tick higher. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more why in final thoughts. So let's get into the final thoughts here. Laphroaig Cairdeas 2022. This is a winner. This is the first fully bourbon cask Cairdeas release I think they've done since the 2015 200th anniversary edition. Now you could argue the 2017 quarter cask strength was all bourbon cask too, but quarter cask is what it is. Maybe it had bourbon, maybe not. But look, I think the last couple of years of Cairdeas, it has been a lot of wine and sherry cask releases, some of which have been really good. The 2021 PX cask strength, very good. The 2020 Port and Wine and 2019 Fino, pretty good. So cool to see them going back to a straight bourbon cask. It has been a while, and I think they did a really great job with this. Now, is this the is this going to compete with like a Laphroaig 18 or something like that? No. But I think it is a well-rounded, and the first fill bourbon is masking any youth of this whiskey quite well. The saltiness, tanginess, zestiness that I was mentioning gives this an interesting, kind of an interesting profile. I would almost venture to say maybe it's a little too much zesty. But that's a minor thing. There's a good amount of complexity to be found here. You know, you're not going to get the range you would get with a sherry cask, but for the most part, there's a lot of good stuff happening in this. And the other thing I want to mention is that, you know, at this price range, when you see other distilleries, particularly on Islay, who are putting out their limited releases for the year, usually the festival releases like this for the festival over on Islay, that are costing much more than this. The Cairdeas line has maintained a pretty good consistent quality at a under $100 price. Sure, you'd like to see this cheaper, but you know what? It's maintaining an average price of under $100, and I got to give it props for that. I'm actually really impressed with this. I really enjoy it. I could totally see cracking another bottle. Is this a must-try Laphroaig? No, I don't think it's quite as good or as interesting as the PX Sherry Cask matured cask strength release from 2021, but this is no slouch at all. They did a really nice job with this. And you know, I'm going to give it a score that reflects that. This is going to be a 3.75 out of 5, which means I do recommend that you try this. And if this is your jam, grab a bottle, especially if it's at a good price. If you can find this under 100, you know, I'd grab it. So 3.75 out of 5, you know, on the 100-point scale, that's in that like 88 range. So very respectable score for a very respectable whiskey. Laphroaig Cairdeas 2022. Keep your eyes peeled for this one, y'all. Quite a good one. I'm going to have a dram of it. And as you can see, I have been quite enjoying this and waited a little while before I give you the full review just to make sure. So I'm happy with this one. Leave a comment. Let me know. Have you had this? What did you think? Are there other releases you preferred? And Winston the Whiskey Cat, well, he is the Cairdeas guardian. Seems relatively indifferent. So what can you say? Sláinte y'all. Here's your malt musing. I'll see you next time on Malt Muser Whiskey Reviews.